infernal, tá bom? A missão infernal ela se chama infernal. Uma das missões mais infernais. Eu acho que vocês entenderam, né? Ninguém aqui é burro, Enzo. Ok, desculpa. Dá isso. Tem ferramentas. Parceirão. Como assim a gente não pode? Mas é porque, velho, não pode. Teve a cutscene, etc, etc lá, mas não... Cara, isso me deixa muito triste, sabe? Ó, eu vou... Acho que a gente pode dizer que o Snake é um dos melhores, né, mano? Eu acho, né, mano? Não sei. Temos o terno aqui. Mano, o terno é muito da hora, velho. Meu Deus. Vamos de terno mesmo, acabou, bro. Tipo, eu gosto do The Dog e tal, ele localiza inimigos, só que o Quiet é um pouquinho melhor, velho, do que o The Dog em alguns quesitos. Calma. Ai, meu Deus, calma aí. Ok, então, né? Ai, meu Deus, ai, que inferno essa missão. Desculpa. Vamos lá. Nossa, mas esse doutor vai sofrer aqui nas nossas mãos, mano. O doutor vai sofrer um pouquinho. Ah, vamos ver a cutscene de novo, meu irmão.
Sahelanthropus is mine now. Listen, I may dwell in the dark, but I refuse to be judged by your standards, traitor. I hope your friends give you what's coming to you. Reporting to the base. Yes, sir. Transporting Emmerich to the base camp and returning to base.
We're shutting down. All units, strike camp and clear out.
We still have use for it.
Open to oh god.
Where are your friends?
Opa.
Nice find. Analyzing the intel file you picked up.
Ah, meu Deus. Ai, me mata. Perdeu a chance.
Since you encountered the skulls during the Honeybee mission. It's really, boss. He's the commander of Cypher Strike Force XOF. Probably the mastermind of the attack 9 years ago. I thought he and Zero parted ways. I'll look into it. You just focus on the mission. Looks like the enemy's lost sight of you. They're gonna try to hunt you down.
quero me gabar, mas essa balinha aí foi relativamente boa, né? Eu acho. Falou isso.
Boss, what happened? Boss!
Extract Emmerich, the scientist who wants to defect. Head for the
uma boa hora pra você dormir, tipo, exatamente agora. Tipo, dorme agora. Sou Pyong Lee. Você está com sono, muito sono. Você tá com sono, muito sono. Dormiu. Isso lá de cachorro. Dorme, 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 amigo.
torpedo weapon system. The same model of... Giving up their search for you, but they're not giving the all clear just yet. Stay alert.
Era aquele helicóptero só, tipo... Cara, o que eu tenho que fazer pra entrar aqui, mano? Tipo, sem zoeira, que eu... Eu não tenho que entrar por aqui. Você está querendo em mim, né, mano? You are kidding me, né? Não é possível. Ou eu tenho que matar todo mundo pra entrar? Não, sai dessa. Ó, não tem em... ali... Nova ameaça. O que será que é? Aquele é um sniperzão. Sniperzões não são muito legais. Cara, mas eu não tô entendendo, tipo, mesmo. Tipo, eu não tô entendendo, tipo, sem zoeira mesmo. Cara... Tá, ali não é, eu já entendi isso. Bem-vindo ao lar. Só dorme agora, dorme. Dorme, pelo amor de Deus, só dorme. Dorme. Tempestade de areia, isso é bom. E ruim, mas bom. Nossa, só dorme, cara, pelo amor. Ixi. Ah, não tá vindo outro brother ali, não. Ah, tá. Vai tomar no meu. Pelo amor de Deus. Tipo, mas não faz sentido, porque eu tenho que entrar por aqui. Isso do que? De um cartão de acesso? Eu preciso de um cartão de acesso. Então eu preciso matar alguém, mas quem é? Tipo, a parte ultra ruim disso é que, tipo, eu não tenho silenciador. Eu não tenho silenciador, mano. Então, tipo... Calma aí, chat. Deixa eu ver um negócio pra ver se daqui tá certo mesmo. Tá, então, chat. É isso daí mesmo, mas... por alguma razão não tá funcionando. Vista bonita. Tá, como eu realmente não quero que esse sniper acorde, eu vou dar um jeito na vida. Quando eu digo um jeito que eu vou matar ele, óbvio. Eu tô indo lá, jogo, vocês não deixam passar, né, então é difícil. Cala sua boca. Tá, isso realmente parece mesmo. Não, você não vai querer vir aqui, não. Você não vai querer vir aqui tipo mesmo, não. Mas, pelo amor de Deus, cara. Porque eu não tenho sinalizador em nada, mano. Ai. Follow. Eu vou matar todo mundo, tá? Que? Tá, o cara morreu ali, beleza. Então os caras... posso entrar por aqui? Tem que ter um...
Probably the reptile pod fused with the mammal pod. It was
a boca, cala a boca. Obrigado.
Spit it out.
Vou ter que matar todo mundo, aparentemente. Isso não era o que eu queria fazer. E talvez eu não consiga. Mas... Você não tá me vendo, top. Você não tá me vendo, mundo é belo. Tá... Meu Deus, velho. Nossa senhora, calma aí também. Ai, eu nem sei o que me matou, velho. Vamos usar o chapéuzinho. Eu vou começar lá.
Extract Emmerich, the scientist who wants to defect. Head for the base camp. That's an enemy gunship. A single burst from its machine gun can cut a man in half. Tread carefully, boss.
Tá, mas dessa vez vai ser diferente. Eu só vou matar todo mundo mesmo. Mas eu vou tentar ser o mais stealth possível. Eu sei onde todo mundo tá. Eu só preciso ir lá. E acabou. Mas eu não consigo ir lá. Isso. A porta está trancada. Porque eu também não sei. Eu também não sei. Tá, eu consigo dar a volta. Não, aparentemente não. Provavelmente. Nossa, minha machine tá muito ruim, velho. Tô usando um chapéu de galinha, velho. Ele vai dormir eventualmente. Ele vai explodir, né? Por aqui tô. Porque sim. Ah, ele mudou de laboratório. Que legal. Ou o finais. O finais. Não, acho que não é o finais. Ah, é capacete. Que legal. Ops. Pô, assim é fácil. Assim você entra. Mas às vezes o jogo simplesmente não te deixa entrar. E isso não é legal, sabia? Ups. Capacete. Não capacete. Dá licença, dá licença.
Se conversam, quando eu vou falar, vou ficar quieta.
Amém, amém. Por alguma razão eu posso agora, mas eu posso, então ainda bem. Nossa, beleza, chat histórico. Ai, meu Deus.
Who are you? Snake? It's not you, is it?
Hey! It's just a machine.
Are you... Dr. Emmerich?
Snake? Hey, what gives? Ah! Let me go! No! Give me back my legs!
Right on schedule. Now bring him back to Mother Base. Okay, I'm sending a chopper close by. Get to the LZ with Emmerich.
Hang on a second. Let's use the walker here to escape. There's a special one here at the lab. Only I can activate it. And I'll tell you how to operate it.
Ignore Emmerich. We don't need his wind-up toys.
It is a long way there.
I had no idea.
I'll start it up. Get this off me!
Here we go.
They're single pilot machines.
Hey!
advantage of close combat. Once they add my masterpieces to the equation, this war will be over. The Soviets will win.
He was developing bipedal weapons for the Soviets. If that's the case, what's Cypher's interest in it?
Arriving shortly at LZ.
Boss, think back. 9 years ago, we invited that nuclear inspection team to Mother Base. It was a ruse. They turned out to be Cypher's strike force. It was Emmerich who brought them there. He's been underground ever since, working with Cypher.
Ok, beleza. Easy. Demais. Cutscene. Calma aí. Tá, a live tá ligada, né? Ainda bem. Eita. Eita.
Sahelanthropus? How?
So that's the Metal Gear he built for the Soviets.
Impossible! It can't be active!
Doctor, you're as useless as I thought. This is the real Sahelanthropus. You and your friend will die here. Behold! Today is the day weapons learn to walk upright!
Ah, não. Ah, não, 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 não. Não, mas não quero não lutar com ele não, velho. Foi mal aí, não quero não. Muito obrigado. Ah, que legal.
Not good. Don't let your buddy die, Snake. I'm pulling them out of there.
Shortly at LZ.
Tá, mano, não tem escolha.
Have arrived at LZ. On standby.
Ainda bem que é ultra fácil de fugir dele nessa missão. É ultra fácil, né? Mas o futuro tá aí, né?
It's no good. The chopper can't get close. Boss, lose the enemy before you arrive at the LZ.
Tá, desculpa. Falei merda. É tipo, sem zoeira, o que ele quer que eu faça? Tá, então deixa eu ver se eu entendi. Eu tenho que despistar ele com área limitada. Mano, como é que eu despisto um robô desse, velho? Primeiro que tem um helicóptero ali no ar, o robô pode muito bem ver ele, derrubar ele a hora que ele quiser. Se eu chegar perto, ele pode derrubar a hora que ele quiser também. Mano, como é que você despista um robôzão desse? Tipo, é uma área bem aberta, se você for ver, né? Tem como, eu só não lembro como é, né? Legal, legal. Nem vou colocar isso das coisas. não sei se vocês perceberam, mas eu meio que buguei ele, né?
Stay alert. You're not out of the woods yet. Get behind something. Spied you. Get away from there now.
Ah, entendi o que eu tenho que fazer. Eu tenho que ficar escondido só. Ô, mas na moral, esse grito dele, mano, na moral. Não é que dá medo, é que caralho, mano, as vidas dão.
You need to focus, boss. Get the target to the RV. It's no good. The chopper can't get close. Boss, lose the enemy before you arrive at the LZ. Boss, don't forget Emmerich. You need to bring him back with you.
Vamos, vamos, vamos. O jogo, eu entendi que não é pra deixar o cara aqui ser...
This is Pequot. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
All that goes up in smoke. Headway changes.
Where are you? Stay? Stay!
Quickly.
I'm over here! Hey! Where are you? Stay? Stay! Hey! I'm over here! Hey! Where are you? Snake? Snake! Hey! I'm over here! Hey! Where are you? Snake? Snake! Hey! I'm over here! Hey!
Mano, mas eu tô tão longe, velho. Que tipo, o negócio nem sabe. Nem dá pra ouvir o grito do bicho, velho. Tão longe que eu tô.
You lost him. You've got to be more careful. Get the target to the RV.
Mano, deu dessa palhaçada já. Essa palha assada. Desculpa. Então, só ralar um troposo, você perdeu. E foi muito easy, tá? Olha que nobre. Easy. Não, tipo, foi fácil. É que eu não tinha entendido que eu precisava me esconder. Eu pensava que, tipo, despistar era no sentido de, tipo... Nossa, eu fui tão longe que o cara nem tá vindo. Tá vendo? Opa!
An upright bipedal weapon. In terms of hominids, it's a sahelanthropus. How did they complete it without?
We'll hear the rest back at base.
O maior grito desse bicho, mano. Tá, eu não ligo, velho. Dá um pouco de medo o grito desse bicho. É medo que se não tivesse tipo 3 horas da manhã jogando, se eu ouvir essa droga aí, você entrar em pânico. Eu iria. Eu iria. Sim, com certeza, absolutamente, não tenho vergonha de falar.
Mission complete, boss.
Ah, usei o chapéu de galinha mesmo, classificação B, não ligo. Easy. Ah, se eu tivesse entendido, tipo, desde o começo, nossa, tava easy, velho. Tava easy. Oh, mas eu juro que eu não lembrava da parte do do helicóptero ali, caralho. Vai ver porque ele tava relativamente próximo. Agora é da hora. Vamos lá. Let's go, bros.
Why do you suspect me? What did I do? I'm on your side. What about him? Miller was in contact with Cypher 9 years ago. He was working with them. He's the traitor, Snake! What's that? More truth serum?
No. Stronger truth serum.
Oh, please. Please keep me here. I need protection. Ah! Ah! Oh. Oh. Why?
You're the odd one out.
Why me?
We all lost something.
What?
Except you.
Don't.
Tomar banho, né? Belo banho.
Truth serum isn't working. Either some procedure he had done boosted his metabolic enzymes, or he's undergone special gene therapy.
What's he saying?
Same as 6 hours ago. I had no idea the nuclear inspection 9 years ago was a ruse. Cypher forced me to do their research after the attack.
You think he had a hand in it?
I do. No proof yet. Take a listen to this later.
We need proof before we can pass judgment. Keep an eye on him. Don't tell anyone he's here.
We'll have him continue his research in there. It's for his own good. The older guys will want his head. We can't guarantee his safety if we let him out.
Boss.
He mentioned something interesting. The reason why they pulled their plug on the operation in Afghanistan. He said their funding started going to Central Africa instead. Cypher is pursuing new research in Africa.
Africa. What research?
Agora sim.
Emmerich doesn't know the details. One thing he said does make sense. The Sahelanthropus alone isn't enough to cause an RMA. He claims that what they're doing in Africa is the missing piece. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Meaning it's not just another nuke.
Finalmente vamos sair do Afeganistão. Pô. Bom.
Remember the guy guys you brought back from the base in Cuba 9 years ago?
Nossa, mas é a milésima vez que eu ouço
Some
isso.
of them survived the hell we went through. Word reached them that Big Boss is back and they want it in. They're good men. Our brothers in fate. They'll be glad to know you've seen them here.
Nossa, muitos voluntários bons. Nossa, tem a missão dos tanques pra fazer lá ainda. Nossa, não fiz aquilo dali. Putz.
Boss, there's no doubt about it. Cypher's working on something in Central Africa. There's evidence they've been in contact with private forces operating in the region. We follow that evidence. We should learn what Cypher is after. Diamond Dogs has gotten a lot bigger. Now's the time to take the offensive. Head back to the ACC for your next mission.
Tá, calma, deixa eu ver algumas coisas antes. Ok. Finalmente. Ok, ótimo. Eu precisava muito dessa plataforma, porque tipo... tá cheio já. Tá bom, vai.
Roger. This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Ah, eu não tô com isso, é verdade. Ai, chat, completou essa bagaça. Ok. Mano, não posso esperar, eu preciso da Quiet logo, velho. Quiet muito boa, meu Deus. Não é a melhor coisa que tem, mas... Então, não quero saber.
Our old friend Zero hasn't been seen in public since you left the States. That was over 10 years ago now. You suspected he was responsible for the accident at your base in the Caribbean. But at that point, Zero was already bedridden. So it never felt right to me that Zero gave the order. Now that I've seen the man Emmerich was working for, I'm sure he didn't. I know that man. He was our old friend's XO. A man without a face. Not one you want to look at anyway. Skullface. He's the one who destroyed your base 9 years ago. The unit he commands, XOF, was Cypher's strike force. But he's since split from Zero and used XOF to usurp control over Cypher itself. In other words, the Cypher we're hunting isn't Zero. Beyond Zero is a void that's even darker. Skullface.
Nossa, eu já tinha percebido faz anos que não é o Zero, velho.
When Quiet first came here, she demonstrated her marksmanship against that enemy fighter plane. It showed she was much more than your everyday crack shot. Hitting a moving target from 600 meters is a challenge, but it's possible with the right training and equipment. Shooting down that missile, that's a world apart from taking out a soldier on patrol. The chopper and the missile were in motion, beating different vectors at high velocity in 3
thinking. You and Quiet could make a hell of a team. You'd be damn near unstoppable.
Eu falei.
Quiet is still in her cell. Only a few staff are authorized to go near her. She hasn't tried anything funny, but that's what bothers me most. In particular, what does she have to gain by coming to Mother Base? I first thought she was under orders from Cypher to take you out. She didn't manage it in Afghanistan, so round 2 happens here. So I lighten the guard. And that lock on her door is a joke. You gave her an opening. And, well, she hasn't killed you yet. And I hate to say it, but she's had plenty of chances. You made me the bait. Poisonous bait. What better? Anyway, she didn't bite. Quiet is keeping her silence. So I'm left with no idea again what she's doing here. We tried communicating with her through writing. That didn't work either. Whether she's illiterate, dyslexic, or just plain stubborn, she won't cooperate. I just don't get it. If she tried to contact the outside, it'd be picked up by our counterintelligence net. But it's clean. There's no sign she's had contact with the staff. Base facilities, nothing. She's almost got the men wanting her to try something, just to find out what she's up to. She's in there putting on the failed soldier look, all downcast eyes and defeated sighs. But she doesn't kill herself. She can't be trying to leave Cypher and surrender to us. So what's the verdict? This may sound optimistic, but here's how I see it. Quiet came here to fulfill some objective. To kill you, maybe to destroy Diamond Dogs. Whatever it was, before she could do it, something changed her mind. Yes. When I look at her, I sense hesitation. You think she betrayed Cypher? Can't say for sure. I prefer the ones that talk. Anyway, we'll keep her under watch. And we're also looking into those special abilities of hers. You'll be the first to know if something comes up. Why not look in on her yourself once in a while? Right. How long are we gonna keep that woman here? You mean Quiet? My personal feelings aside, she's putting everybody on edge. You should hear the stories. I got sick from just standing guard at her cell. I won't stand on the same platform as that witch. She hit me for no reason. What is this, a private army or a kindergarten? The thing is, they're all serious. They're faced with something they don't understand, and a kind of mass hysteria has broken out. I've gotten wind of countless plots to take her out. There are no grounds for this suspicion whatsoever. Put yourself in her shoes, assuming they see her as a prisoner here. No, even more so, if they do, she deserves to be treated humanely. I always thought our men were a bit more noble-minded. Look, I understand this is a stressful line of work, but to make her the scapegoat, you've got it wrong. Quiet? Cypher. We have men that lost their buddies to our organization. Now, you could say that about more than just her. Plenty of the men used to fight for another side. But they've all put that aside to work for the boss. Cypher is different. And if you ask me, the boss is the biggest problem. Why is he protecting her? Some of the guys are starting to suspect him. I don't agree with keeping her here either. So what's your move? Throw her out? Kill her? She's our ticket to Cypher. And her physical abilities are outstanding. We could use someone like her. That'll make me sick. Her marksmanship, speed, stealth capabilities for a start. Then, there are the other things we've learned. Quiet appears to be able to use both eyes as master eyes simultaneously. That lets her track targets of different focal lengths at once. While looking through the scope with one eye, she can look for new targets with the other. That's why she doesn't need a spotter. She can operate alone, no matter the circumstances. See, I told you she's a freak. No one would be able to control her. No, there's one person who could. Hey, you trying to get the boss killed? Well, why don't we talk to him? See if he's willing to take her along. I don't like this. It's his decision to make. The two of them might even make a good team.
It wasn't just Cypher. Back in the Caribbean, every eye in the world was turned on us. A private army, just a bunch of guys with guns, in possession of a nuke? Why wouldn't they be uncomfortable?
And that's why you made sure the inspection happened.
Well, I thought our best move was to prove to the UN through the IAEA that we had no nuke. Of course, I was against us having it in the first place, but that was Snake's decision.
The boss wasn't responsible.
Well, don't get me wrong, I still believed in Snake. I thought I was making the best decision for all of us, that's all. I figured we should get a third party to exonerate us before proof of the nuke did get out. And who better to do that than an organization with international authority?
So the truth is, you took it upon yourself to agree to an inspection arranged by the UN. Only the inspection was a ruse, and Cypher Strike Force XOF showed up instead.
I had no idea that would happen.
Enough bullshit.
Oh, sure, like I could have known. You know, I was just trying to prove our innocence to the world. What's wrong with that?
We're not interested in the excuses you've thought up. The truth is objective.
Just see it from my point of view.
You led XOF to the control tower. They seized it, giving them complete control over the base. Moments later, they detonated C4 on the strut legs. Anyone who'd managed to survive was hunted down by the assault force and their choppers.
You can't believe I did that on purpose.
That was the end of Mother Base. But it wasn't the end for you.
How can you... Look, think about it. I lost something too. I built Zeke and it got buried underwater. I am a victim.
That raises the big questions. Why were you the only one spared? You got away without a scratch. Why did Strangelove leave the base on the eve of the inspection? You two were close.
Strangelove?
And how did you manage to build something that surpasses Zeke in every way? Because you did everything they told you. You're the only one who didn't lose a thing. That is the truth.
I was taken away against my will. Skullspace forced me to do his research these past 9 years. He used me. I lost 9 years.
9 years. We all lost 9 years. It wasn't just you.
I suppose blaming me makes you feel better, does it? But who's gonna give me back all the time I lost?
You're not getting anything back.
You're not a victim here, Emmerich. You're the perpetrator.
I didn't know anything.
Nobody can back that up.
Yeah, all the evidence is at the bottom of the ocean.
You know the hardest man to break. The type who's fooling himself. That takes time. It's easier to live a convenient lie than a painful truth. Is that the piece you've chosen, Doc?
I'm not lying.
Of course. Just let me check one or two things. On that day, you were in the control tower with them. Lucky you. That's how you got out unscathed. And you escaped on one of their choppers. Only you, right before the base went under.
They had me blindfolded the whole time. I've never been so scared. The whole flight, I thought they'd kill me. But thinking of you kept me going. My comrades, all the way.
And?
There was a plane journey, and then we traveled by road. When they finally took off the blindfold, I was in kind of a
Pus modified Zeke for human control.
Don't compare me to some amateur. I designed it for human control from the beginning. The problem was miniaturizing the posture control AI. You remember the reptile pod?
The AI that controlled your unmanned weapons.
Attaching it externally makes it vulnerable. So this time I wanted it beneath the armor. Meaning I had to make the AI smaller. I got it down to less than 1/10 the size without any loss in computation speed. But it was still too big for the cockpit. There wasn't enough room for the pilot. If I made the head bigger, its body would have to be bigger to support it. Too big to be practical. In the end, human piloting was taken off the table. I tested a remote control system too, but there was the time lag and I wasn't satisfied with its precision either. Plus, it would be useless if the enemy jammed it. So next, I went back to trying an AI-only system. To do that, I had the AI pods recovered from Nicaragua. This was a hybrid AI, a combination of Peace Walker's reptile and mammal pods. The only AIs that had ever successfully operated an unmanned nuclear weapons system.
Really? You'd need some help to get that working. Expert help. Did you work with someone?
I worked alone.
You did that yourself?
That's the thing. The AI didn't pan out in the end either. But I did finally get Sahelanthropus walking by folding over its upper body to lower its center of gravity. The first upright bipedal locomotive weapon system in the history of mankind. I guess technically it falls into the anthropoid ape category.
I don't see the benefit of having it stand taller.
On terrain with significant differences in elevation like Afghanistan, you need a body that's vertically adaptable. That also lets it attack from long range while using mountain ridges for cover. So, making it walk upright was the most important factor in giving it superior height capability. As the name suggests, that was the whole point of Sahelanthropus. But I was being pushed for results. Having the AI mounted externally would have been the fastest way to get it working. I just needed more data so it could maintain its balance. But Skullface refused to wait. He dismissed the idea of AI control and took Sahelanthropus away from me before I could finish it.
But it was walking when it came after you.
That's just it. I don't understand how Skullface got it to move upright, without a pilot or an AI. And walking at that speed, too. It's beyond anything I could have imagined. This is like the Wright brothers making it to the moon. I'm just as clueless as you are.
So this Sahelanthropus, where is it now?
I have no idea. All my experiments took place at that cave. I've never seen it anywhere else. Besides, it's still just an incomplete prototype at this point, and nothing but a paper tiger. Even if it can walk, it's far from being a viable weapons platform. It wouldn't be useful in actual battle.
Emmerich will remain here at Mother Base for now, but not as a member of Diamond Dogs. I still don't trust him. That work for you? Fine by me. He can't be allowed any contact with staff either. Yeah, a lot of the guys would love some payback for 9 years ago. We still need him alive. But we have to restrict his movements. He can only go where we tell him. And of course, the interrogations will continue. He worked for that skull bastard for nearly a decade. He still has more to tell us. How long are we gonna press him? If our investigation shows he really had nothing to do with the attack, we'll reconsider his place here. But I don't expect that to happen. Remember that water tank-shaped object in Emmerich's lab in the Soviet base camp? The thing that started talking to you like a possessed answering machine. That was a pod belt for housing the AI used to control unmanned weapons. You remember, back in '74 in Costa Rica. It was in those machines you fought there. They were designated Pupa, Chrysalis, Cocoon, and Basilisk. And each of them was fitted with an AI unit called a reptile pod. Emmerich created it. It mainly handled the machine's posture control and autonomous behavior. But the Basilisk, aka Peace Walker, also featured a second AI pod. That one was called the Mammal Pod, and it was created by Dr. Strangelove. She tried to recreate the boss's personality through the Mammal Pod, but you pulled personality nor a will. Like Emmerich says, it's just a machine.
Áudios legais.
Ever since the attack on your unit 9 years ago, the name Big Boss has become known the world over. What do you mean? Those of your men who survived traveled far and wide. They fought throughout the world. In fact, they're part of the reason we have all these PFs now. Every one of them suffered their own phantom pain from losing you. Talking about you wherever they went helped to heal their wounds. Your actions and words, your legend, has been told on every battlefield they've set foot on. Obviously, as the tales have spread, the truth's been distorted, painted over. Big Boss sacrificed himself to show us the threat that Cypher poses. He sounded a warning, so it goes. A warning? Too much power destroys the hands that hold it. Apparently, you chose to be a living example of that. I never said any of that. The moment any truth is passed on, it starts turning into fiction. The problem is, fiction inspires people more than facts. To the world, you're now the legendary mercenary Big Boss. The lessons you've taught the PFs are the reason they're so widespread. They're the reason they've survived. And you know what they all aspire to? To one day go nuclear, just like you did. And stand up to Cypher. Of all the stupid things you could do, they'll never understand what you really wanted. Heroes are misunderstood. It takes a man of the same caliber to understand what drives them. Bottom line is, these guys want to be like their hero, Big Boss. And deep down, they all have their eyes on nuclear weapons. They say that a nuke is the only means of standing against Cypher. These days, it's becoming little more than a slogan to rally the troops and survive in a cutthroat business. Currently, there are 3 major PFs who've expanded into Central Africa. CFA, Rogue Coyote, and Zero Risk Security. HEC's investigations have shown there's almost no overlap between their areas of operation. It's not so much a turf war, more like they have a gentleman's agreement. If you do cross paths with them, you probably won't have to face more than one at a time. Still, don't expect a walk in the park. The CFA, Contract Forces of Africa. These guys are a major player. Their head office is in Pretoria, South Africa. That's also where the South African Defense Force is headquartered. We think the two are closely connected. An HEC investigation revealed that most of the CFA's operators are former SADF soldiers. South Africa has been locked in struggles with neighboring regimes for years. That means constant action. And we know better than anyone that's the best kind of training. A company drawing its recruits from hardened military vets. You can bet they know how to handle themselves. Do not underestimate them. Within the CFA is a company of soldiers made up mainly of locally hired operators. They speak Afrikaans to communicate with personnel from the CFA. But if you notice any speaking the local language, that's them. Though hired from the local population, they were originally part of a paramilitary group, so they'll have plenty of combat experience. And unlike their days shooting junkyard rifles out of beat-up pickup trucks, the CFA now supplies them with the latest gear from the West. On top of that, they've been combat trained by the South African Army. All that adds up to a much stronger fighting force. So don't brush them off. Look at the Angola-Zaire border region. The east bank of the Munene River in particular. It's a microcosm of a problem that stretches all across Africa. There's a civil war going on in Angola, fought between the government MPLA and the Western-backed UNITA. Zaire is still a dictatorship under President Mobutu, but numerous uprisings have broken out in its remote regions. With all the trouble elsewhere keeping their hands full, neither government has control over their side of the border. They depend on militias and PFs, as do the rebels. Government forces, guerrillas, militants, groups of all shapes and sizes hawk whatever resources they can to hire PFs. Conflict brings PFs. PFs expand the war zone, and more conflicts erupt in a continuous chain reaction. Sounds like our kind of work. Mother Base could grow by leaps and bounds.
Deixa eu ver uns negócios lá no Mother Base. Opa! Cutscene?
Yeah. You see that in the movies? That's an automatic. Don't bother trying to dampen the recoil. You do that with a revolver. We Diamond Dogs are now a force to be reckoned with. We've got the world's attention. We're not some tribal militia. So don't act like one. You will learn how a real soldier fights. You will forget everything Hollywood taught you. If I catch you doing something else, you'll know. Engravings give you no tactical advantage whatsoever. There was some fancy shooting. Pretty good.
Nossa, mas eu vou matar muito esse cara, velho. Ele vai morrer na minha mão. Ele tá copiando os filmes, né? Então... Isso é muito engraçado, não é? Isso é muito engraçado, né? Isso não é muito engraçado. Isso não é muito engraçado. Cala a boca. Isso não é tão engraçado assim. Isso não... Cala... Fica aí quieto. Quietinho. Sou uma decepção, todos eles, velho. Olha aqui como é que se faz aqui, ó. Então, meus tiros aparentemente não derrubam nada, né? Então... Eu vim aqui pra tomar banho. Fala a verdade, eu vim pra tomar banho, né? Tá, mas aproveitando aqui, né? Tá, fui revigorado. Plataforma. Hum. 26 minutos? Meu Deusinho, hein? Tá, plataforma de médica. Já. Tá pronto. Quase perfeito, né? Não, 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 não. Nós não vamos tomar copyright. Não é mesmo? Não ouviremos nada pra não tomar copyright. Não, não, não. Nossa, vai tomar muito copyright isso aqui. You spin me right around. Seria muito bom deixar essa música.
A private army, just a bunch of guys with guns, in possession of a nuke? Why wouldn't they be uncomfortable?
And that's why you made sure the inspection happened.
Well, I thought our best move was to prove to the UN through the IAEA that we had no nuke. Of course, I was against us having it in the first place, but that was Snake's decision.
The boss wasn't responsible.
Well, don't get me wrong, I still believed in Snake. I thought I was making the best decision for all of us, that's all. I figured we should get a third party to exonerate us before proof of the nuke did get out. And who better to do that than an organization with international authority?
So the truth is, you took it upon yourself to agree to an inspection arranged by the UN. Only the inspection was a ruse, and Cypher Strike Force XOF showed up instead.
I had no idea that would happen.
Enough bullshit.
Oh, sure, like I could have known. You know, I was just trying to prove our innocence to the world. What's wrong with that?
We're not interested in the excuses you've thought up. The truth is objective.
Just see it from my point of view.
You led XOF to the control tower. They seized it, giving them complete control over the base. Moments later, they detonated C4 on the strut legs. Anyone who'd managed to survive was hunted down by the assault force and their choppers.
You can't believe I did that on purpose.
That was the end of Mother Base. But it wasn't the end for you.
How can you... Look, think about it. I lost something too. I built Zeke and it got buried underwater. I am a victim.
That raises the big questions. Why were you the only one spared? You got away without a scratch. Why did Strangelove leave the base on the eve of the inspection? You two were close.
Strangelove?
And how did you manage to build something that surpasses Zeke in every way? Because you did everything they told you. You're the only one who didn't lose a thing. That is the truth.
I was taken away against my will. Skullspace forced me to do his research these past 9 years. He used me. I lost 9 years.
9 years? We all lost 9 years. It wasn't just you.
I suppose blaming me makes you feel better, does it? But who's gonna give me back all the time I lost?
You're not getting anything back. You're not a victim here, Emmerich. You're the perpetrator.
I didn't know anything.
Nobody can back that up.
Yeah, all the evidence is at the bottom of the ocean.
You know the hardest man to break. The type who's fooling himself. That takes time. It's easier to live a convenient lie than a painful truth. Is that the piece you've chosen, Doc?
I'm not lying.
Of course. Just let me check one or two things. On that day you were in the control tower. Lucky you. That's how you got out unscathed. And you escaped on one of their choppers. Only you, right before the base went under.
They had me blindfolded the whole time. I've never been so scared. The whole flight I thought they'd kill me. But thinking of you kept me going. My comrades, all the way.
And?
There was a plane journey, and then we traveled by road. When they finally took off the blindfold, I was in kind of a warehouse, on the floor. Afghanistan, it was that research lab. I couldn't believe they'd taken me halfway around the world. And soon enough, he came.
Skullface.
He's the one who's really behind that Mother Base attack. He forced me into that research.
What kind of research?
He told me to build a bipedal walking tank for the Soviet Union. weapon. That's how the Sahelanthropus project got started.
Sahelanthropus.
Those AI weapons I'd made in Costa Rica were like toys by comparison. A whole world apart from reptilian four-legged crawling and that ridiculous hunched-over bipedal waddling. My design evolved to the dawn of...
Yeah. But also, Ross was his mentor. They were fall. And that was why he turned his back on America.
Roger. This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude.
Ok, vamos lá. Não. Nossa, mas eu me lembro. Eu não me lembro dessa missão, o que é exatamente. Mas eu me lembro. Eu me lembro que eu odiava essa missão. E eu não sei porquê, mas eu lembro que eu odiava essa missão. Todas as minhas forças. E eu tô com medo de fazer ela por causa disso. eu passei por uns maus bocados mesmo. Au! This is P-Quad. On station and LZ. Ok. Acho que deu um pouco de gaming hoje, né, galerinha? Nem era pra live tá até agora, eu acho, talvez. Bom, boa noite pra vocês aí. Eu sei que ninguém assistiu, mas boa noite pra quem estiver assistindo depois, talvez.